Robert Redford, beloved actor, director, and environmentalist, dies at 89. Robert Redford, one of Hollywood's most admired actors, an Oscar-winning director, and a lifelong advocate for the environment and independent film, has died at the age of 89. His publicist, Cindy Berger, confirmed his passing on September 16, 2025. Redford died at his beloved home in Sundance, Utah, surrounded by family. In a statement, Berger said, "Robert Redford passed away at his home at Sundance in the mountains of Utah, the place he loved, surrounded by those he loved. He will be missed greatly. The family requests privacy." Redford's death marks the end of an extraordinary career that spanned more than 6 decades. Known for his charm, good looks, and undeniable talent, he captivated audiences in films like Butch Cassidy and the Sundance Kid, The Sting, The Great Gatsby, and All the President's Men. He later became just as respected behind the camera, winning the Academy Award for Best Director for Ordinary People. Beyond his career in film, Redford was deeply devoted to environmental causes and to supporting new voices in cinema. He founded the Sundance Institute in 1981, which grew into a powerhouse for independent filmmaking and launched the careers of countless directors. His name became synonymous with Sundance, the annual film festival that is now recognized worldwide. A life in Hollywood. Robert Redford was born in Santa Monica, California in 1936. His father worked hard as a milkman and later as an accountant, while his mother encouraged his creativity and adventurous spirit. As a boy, Redford often escaped to the local library, diving into books about mythology and faraway worlds. His youth, however, was not without struggle. Redford lost his mother when she was still in her 30s, an event that left a deep mark on him. He later admitted he never had the chance to thank her for her unwavering support. His father, a product of the Depression era, pushed for a stable, conventional life, but young Redford sought adventure and creativity. In college, Redford briefly studied at the University of Colorado on a baseball scholarship. But after losing his mother and struggling with alcohol, he lost his scholarship and was asked to leave the school. He took odd jobs to save money and traveled to Europe, where he studied art and lived simply, exploring cultures that would shape his worldview. When he returned to the United States, Redford turned his attention to acting. At first shy and unsure, he studied at the American Academy of Dramatic Arts in New York City. In 1959 he landed his first television role on Perry Mason, and soon his career began to build momentum. Rise to stardom. Redford's big break came in 1963 when he starred on Broadway in Neil Simon's Barefoot in the Park. He later reprised the role in the 1967 film opposite Jane Fonda. But it was his role in Butch Cassidy and the Sundance Kid in 1969, alongside Paul Newman, that catapulted him to superstardom. The film was a massive hit and earned 4 Academy Awards. Redford and Newman shared a special friendship and reunited in The Sting in 1973, which went on to win Best Picture at the Oscars. From there, Redford became a leading man of the 1970s, starring in classics like Jeremiah Johnson, The Great Gatsby, The Way We Were with Barbra Streisand, and All the President's Men with Dustin Hoffman. Despite his success, Redford was wary of being typecast as just another handsome leading man. He wanted to use his influence to tell stories that mattered. He began to move toward producing and directing, and eventually he reshaped Hollywood's relationship with independent filmmaking. Award-winning director. Redford made his directorial debut in 1980 with Ordinary People, a powerful family drama. The film won 4 Oscars including Best Picture, and earned Redford the Academy Award for Best Director. He continued directing films with emotional depth and artistic ambition, including A River Runs Through It, Quiz Show, and The Horse Whisperer. Although he kept acting, Redford often found his greatest satisfaction in directing and mentoring new talent. His belief in independent voices led to the founding of the Sundance Institute, which became one of the most important platforms for up-and-coming filmmakers. Directors like Quentin Tarantino, Steven Soderbergh, and Ryan Coogler got their start at Sundance. Passion for nature and activism. Beyond film, Redford had a lifelong love for nature. In 1961 he bought land in Utah and built a cabin himself. He dedicated much of his life to preserving America's natural landscapes and speaking out about climate change. In 2020, as wildfires swept across the western United States, Redford published an opinion piece expressing frustration that climate change was not being addressed with urgency. He called for leadership and action to protect the planet for future generations. His activism was not limited to the environment. Redford was outspoken on issues of democracy, freedom of the press, and equality. He believed storytelling through film could challenge authority, raise awareness, and inspire change. Personal life and losses. Redford's personal life was marked by both joy and tragedy. He married Lola Van Wagenen in 1958, and the couple had 4 children. Their first son, Scott, died as an infant from sudden infant death syndrome. Later, in 2020, Redford's son David died from cancer at age 58. David had followed in his father's footsteps as a filmmaker and activist. Redford and Lola divorced in 1985. In 2009, Redford married artist Sibylle Sagers. He is survived by her, his daughters Shauna and Amy, and 7 grandchildren. Even in his later years, Redford continued to work. In 2017, he reunited with Jane Fonda in the Netflix film Our Souls at Night. A year later, he starred in The Old Man and the Gun, which he suggested might be his last acting role. Still, he resisted the idea of retirement, once saying, "To me, retirement means stopping something or quitting something. There's this life to lead, why not live it as much as you can as long as you can?" A lasting legacy. Robert Redford's influence on film and culture cannot be overstated. As an actor, he created unforgettable performances that defined an era. As a director, he crafted films that explored family, morality, and identity. As an activist, he dedicated himself to protecting the environment and supporting artists who might otherwise have been ignored by Hollywood. In 2002, he received an honorary Oscar for his contributions to cinema. But perhaps his greatest legacy will be the Sundance Institute and Film Festival, which gave a platform to voices that shaped modern filmmaking. Redford leaves behind not just a body of work, but a vision of how art can connect to humanity, inspire change, and endure for generations. He is survived by his wife Sibylle, his daughters Shauna and Amy, and his grandchildren. He will be remembered as a Hollywood legend, a pioneer for independent film, and a passionate defender of the natural world. Thank you for watching. Please like, comment, and subscribe.